Okay, if you want, I'm going to move on to my first restoration project of these meters. This is a Chamberlain and Hookham type JTR, 2 times 10 amps, 2 times 230, 460 volts, 50 hertz, 1 phase, 3 wire meter, 375 revs per kilowatt hour. Property of SEC of Victoria, so State Electricity Commission. Meter number NE for North East Victoria and 65861. So now undo these bolts. Have a look. First things first, I'm going to check that all the terminal screws are intact. Now, if I had a glass cutter, I can cut some of this old bloody photo frame glass and just fit that in there. It'd be perfect. Yeah, I just turned on. I've got the battery in it topping up at the moment. Don't want to lose that tariff that's programmed into that. Just went clunk and turned on. The contacts are closed. I'll be doing more time switch videos once this is all complete. And the other one of the other meters I'll show later has to be repaired. So when they're done, I start doing showing some interesting time switches. Yeah, they seem to be alright. They haven't been undone all the way. And one of those is your tariff changeover one. There's your indicator there. High rate, low rate. They've scraped off the normal, I think it was called normal rate. They scratched that off and just punched in high rate instead. Okay, look at the wiring diagram for this type of meter. So active goes in, active goes in there and in there, one phase and active for the other phase. Active from one phase comes out there, active for the second phase comes out there. So if I want to hook it up on single phase, I've got to have active in there, then jump it into that one. And that energises those, the potential coil. Active out, that's going to jump to there, be my active to my load, and neutral goes straight through back onto the meter. Being a 460 volt meter, it's probably going to run at half the speed on 240 volts, but it'll look good displaying actually going. So seems easy enough to hook up. And one of those goes to off the neutral and taps to go to the, which is this is your tariff changer, which goes up here, not from here over here. Yeah, it's been painted over. These older ones were in a museum, so number NE here for North East Victoria. Alright, let's take the cover off and see what it's like inside. Hopefully there's no damage from broken glass getting into the jewel bearings there. Okay, the cover's off, seal is all intact. Seems to be the right thickness, that glass too, to fit in there. Carefully place that aside. And there you go. There it is inside this Chamberlain and Hookham meter. Okay, so that middle one there, and they've scratched half the bloody label off. So if you follow those wires, those yellow ones, one goes up to that little solenoid there, which is somehow connected in there mechanically, and changes a tariff. So if I change that, it breaks it, stops the other arm gear, and engages this one. Interesting. And that actuates from down. That's actually a magnet. It pulls that in and repels it to go down to the low rate. So it repels, energises, and it's attracted to that solenoid. And it's high rate. Yeah, the needle's not pointing very good. We're going to have to fix that. So if it's pointing there, that'd be the low rate. That's got to be pointing a bit lower. Very carefully. Yeah, moves quite easily. That's better. Seems to be more in line and symmetrical. Now I'm going to straighten all those bloody needles out. It's been touched and they've all been bent. I was going to give the fascia here very light dusting. Don't want to scratch the decal off. So very carefully get my screwdriver and start straightening out all these needles. Very delicate work this is. There you go. Alright, I'll put the camera down and straighten them out, because that needs very delicate two-man work. That I want to break those needles off. Okay, feels very carefully. I managed to get all those needles pretty well straightened, and that one there is not obstructing the 1/10 dials. There you go, that was working good. Alright. That's done. I just gave everything a very careful brush up with a toothbrush so you can actually see the dial face there better. Might as well read it out to you what it is. The high rate's got, so it's 2011. This one here is 3,339 and 9/10. This one's 6.5 on that tariff. Let's check that. Spins quite freely. The jaw bearing in there seems to be in good nick. There's no serious wear. There's your adjustments, inductive load. There's your balance to balance it. Everything in there seems fine. The register, this actual register here is bolted on from the back, so I can't just pull that off to clean it. And there's a meshing in there. Let's turn that so you can see better. There's your, there must be a little clutch in there or something. Very interesting. And there's something between that. So the drive from the load wheel is in there. It comes up to there, drives up in there. And there's this little clutch set up here. That's interesting how they set this up mechanically. There you go. There's a cog in there. There's two crown gears with a cog in the middle of it. And they might spin in opposite directions and it turns that middle cog. Very interesting. It's all 1mm wide gears, metal gears. When I say metal, I think they are actually, I feel like aluminium. Bit of dust in there. So aluminium gears. And there's our magnet thing there. Repels, attracts when that's energized. So it's also connected to that too. Doesn't look like it's ever been used for a long time. More adjustment there, inductive load. There's something here, I won't touch that there, that's some adjuster there. Bolts there to take the whole unit out of its case. Let's get the air compressor turned on and we'll very carefully blow all the dust out. Old spider or something in there. And there's that old glass, and that should be the same thickness as that. Let's see if it is. Yep, the same thickness. Perfect. All I need is a glass cutter, and I'll cut that shape to fit in the window of this. And that'll be a new window for this meter. The Chamberlain Hookham meter only has one brake magnet. Alright, let's get the air compressor set up and we'll slowly and carefully blow all the dust out of this. I can't test it yet because I haven't got a tunnel meter to set these meters on and energise them. So, let's get it cleaned. Okay, if you also just clean out some dust out of it, seems to be a bit cleaner. Feed up some gunk off the brake magnet. No, there's no rust or anything stuck to that. Everything spins quite freely on this. The load wheels are quite straight, they haven't been damaged, that's good. Alright, now it's come up quite well. And here, that's your earthing point for your earth to go on. As an all metal cased meters must be earthed, no matter what, for safety reasons. So everything seems to be intact. Alright, let's work on giving it a good cosmetic clean up. Get that dust off it. See what I can do about that window. Okay viewers, I went looking for a glass cutter. Yeah, my dad reckons we have got one, but tried looking for one in his toolbox and can't seem to find one, so I might have to use Perspex for this instead. So I'm going to see if I've got a spare sheet of Perspex laying around that's in good nick, and we'll use that instead. But this just needed a minor dust over, and it's nice and clean. Looks pretty good. Okay viewers, I've got the best part of my battery popping shield window here, and that should be the right size there. There you go, boy, so that fits in there. So I'm going to cut outside those lines and that will fit this window perfectly. The best way to cut this, I'll try the renovator, see how that goes. It cuts quite well. Little half moon disc, turned up flat out. Now it's time to the other side. Okay, it was done, perfect. Tiniest bit of scratching from overcutting, damn it, but should be able to buff that out. Get the methylated spirits, buff off that black line. I'll clean up the permanent marker and start sanding it down the side so it fits snugly. Quite happy with that. Okay viewers, it sits in there, but it's about 1 millimetre too small on either side. So I'm going to have to take one of these tabs off, or maybe make one for the bottom. Just cut some bits of steel that fit in those bolts like washers, and then I'll hold that on. I could run a little bit of silicone around there. So I'll get some silicone, I'll put tiny blobs all around there. And that should help. Take one of the sideburns off and put it on the bottom, so at least it's got something to hold it on. That way it's not going to end up falling out. Okay viewers, I finished hot snotting it in place. Didn't have all the nozzles I had in our silicone caulking gun were just ended up drying. We ended up cutting the dry bits out, and the nozzles just ended up being too big to get any precise bloody injection. So would have made a hell of a mess using that with that condition that the nozzle was in. So I've had to resort to using some hot snot, hot glue. It seems to have worked quite well. Handle the rigidity from getting in the meter, and we'll put it back together. That's worked out quite well. Let's put it back together and see how it looks. It's better than nothing, I suppose. Okay viewers, it's all done. Looks quite well, a lot better now. Should work quite well too. Alright, all I've got to do now is make up a test panel, sit in the ground, hang this up on, wire it up and test it. Didn't bother getting all the dust or polishing that load wheel, because they warp very easily if you're not careful. Might as well give that a bit of a polish up while I'm here. Give it some shine. Get a rag and we'll clean it. There you go viewers, we're back together. Terminal cover's on, polished up, got a dust off it. Here's from the back. That'll clean up alright. Block number 8, written on the back of that terminal block there. And there's the earthing thing from the back, comes out, and your earth goes on there. And that's something for your tariff changer. I might take that little lid off and see what that looks like underneath. Yeah, there's a lot of these older antique ones that I showed in the video all came from a museum. So they must have had too much on their wall. The wall must have been weakened, so they had to get rid of some excess meters. No other museum would take them, so the contractor ended up getting them. And yeah, it gives them to the collectors. This is how I ended up with it. Yeah, they've just painted over it. There's a little terminal block in there. There you go. Interesting. Never been touched in years. Huh? Now the date is probably, I reckon, about 1940 era. This would be late 30s or early 40s. There you go, that's this meter all restored. Thanks for watching.